YouTube, hello, my name is Natalie, and today I've put up the Neon Orchid intro type video as a standalone piece. And instead of just putting it up and leaving it at that, I thought I might just briefly talk you through the editing timeline on Premiere Pro and kind of retrace some of the major steps taken during the editing process of this particular video. And as you can see here, the sequence here on the left is the vlog sequence made up of some Osmo action footage that kind of highlights some of the behind the scenes of putting this piece together. And here on the right, the sequence of interest for today is the sequence where I actually constructed the Neon Orchid. On the far left here is the final edit, and you can see the Neon Orchid final piece that I inserted in here within this entire piece. I inserted it from here, the sequence here on the right. Let's render this. And okay, and all the way along here are all the iterations of this Orchid edit that I took. I don't know if this process of producing all iterations within the same sequence is good practice, but I should state that I backed these up many times, duplicating the sequence as I progressed. Okay, let's make the main track bigger here and squeeze into the first stage, which was cutting all the right segments from these clips here, which are the clips recorded straight into the GH5. And here, let's scrub you through some of that footage straight from the camera here in the project panel. So I went through the footage here that I was interested in and cut the segments I wanted, and that's what you see here in the first track. And what you see in green here are nested clips that have been warp stabilized, and the blue clips are straight from the camera. They're untouched, and in case you're wondering, the pink here is the edited track, which was licensed at audio.com. These marks that you see here are pin marked segments for time remapping. For those of you that don't know what speed ramping is, it's when you mark parts of your clips to speed them up and slow them down. And I'd be happy to put a tutorial on that if that's something that you might be interested in. And this track of adjustment layers here are the lumetri adjustments I made to the clips, and I'll disable those so you can see that that's the unedited footage down there. And let's go into the adjustment layer and let's just see what I did here. I don't think I did much. I don't really have much memory of what I did. I don't think I did much. I was quite happy with the footage straight out of the camera, and it looks like I just played with the tone and the RGB curves a bit to kind of get the background darker and add a punch. Let's see the other adjustments. Yeah, okay, it looks like I just messed with the tone and the RGB curves. Let's enable that again. Zoom back out a bit. Now, I kind of got naughty at this point. I decided to give it a bit more of a dream feel. So the best way to do this would be to add some noise correcting effects, and instead of doing this to the unedited footage below, I just exported the entire edited part of the sequence, imported it into After Effects, added some temporal filtering and the noise correction effect to the outer parts of the flower, not to the parts with water droplets. I wanted to keep those, I wanted to keep those little crisp. I then exported the noise corrected stuff and imported that new clip into Premiere Pro, and that's the next iteration that you see here. Straightforward, just the new noise corrected imports, and it's at the next iteration here you see I started adding the glitch effects and some extra jumps and rotations and played with the color and bits of desaturation. So nothing major, but note how at each new set of edits I just duplicate what I've done and add to that so that I can always revert to an earlier set if I don't like what I've done. And because this was such a small project within a project within this other project in the sequence on the left, I was comfortable keeping all these iterations within the same sequence. If this were a larger edit, I would have worked in sequences instead of iterations within a sequence. Moving on to the next step, this is where I added the text, and these text animations are made separately in After Effects. And then I see here I added an extra effect to the text animation, and this one here looks like I just added one more text animation that I forgot. So I think that's all I did in this iteration. I then nested all of this, and then the sound design, this is one of my favorite parts. Let's disable this audio and play just the sound. If you take out the music, you'll note sometimes sound design is a little silly when you actually pay attention. Give it a listen. And before you tell me that there are missing sound effects, there aren't. I edited this to the beat of the track. So sound effects weren't needed for every movement or every cut or event, because the music provided those little beats for me that count as sort of like little sound effects. And that's it for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed that. Next time I make an edit like this, I'll make an effort to put together the tutorial sooner after, so that I actually remember what I was thinking during the editing, so to share my thoughts that kind of drove the decisions with the cutting and all that. But I hope this will satisfy you for now. Don't forget to keep taking photos, keep making videos. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to be here. I really do appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next video.